It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. I know you're wondering how I was able to get behind the desk and do a show this week after being repeatedly punched in the gut by Taylor Swift's new album Midnights, and to be honest, I'm not really sure either, so if I start sobbing during recaps, just go with it. Hello, I'm Siobhan Nolan.
And I'm Libby Gilliland. Fall break gave the Explorers plenty of time to play sports, so I hope you're excited to listen to me and Siobhan talk because we may have a SportsLine record for amount of recaps. And we have Halloween decorations today. You're watching LaSalle TV's Home for Explorer Athletics, SportsLine.
Welcome to SportsLine. We took over a week off and cut you other shows some slack, but tell a friend to tell a friend, we're back. And we have a ton of recaps coming up, so don't go anywhere.
And later, Joe James is back for another Explorer report to get us ready for the basketball season.
But first, let's take a look at our SportsLine top 3.
Liz Mancini has been named the Atlantic 10 Performer of the Week for cross country. She earned this honor after placing 4th at the Penn State National, where she recorded a new career best time in the 6K, clocking in at 20 minutes and 33.3 seconds.
Number 2, women's basketball guard Kayla Spurl has been named to the 2023 Becky Hammon Player of the Year Award watch list. She is joined by 24 players across 24 different institutions and 13 conferences. Spurl earns this nod after a stellar season last year, leading the A-10 in free throw percentage, 5th in the league and 58th in the nation for field goal percentage. She also reached the 1,000-point milestone and earned a spot on the 2021-22 All-Conference First Team.
Number 3, the men's varsity 4 rowing team won NovaCare Student Athletes of the Week this week after their silver medal finish at the head of the Charles Regatta. Their boat led for the majority of the race, but slipped behind Notre Dame in the final minutes, giving the Explorers the second place finish. This was rowing's first Student Athlete of the Week nomination and win for the season.
So we have some new sports to talk about since fall sports are going to be wrapping up. It's really cool to see Kayla Spurl be on the watch list for the Becky Hammon Player of the Year Award. I was doing some research on it, and it's a really prestigious award. Like we said, there's a lot of different players across a lot of different conferences and schools nominated, so the fact that we have a LaSalle player up there is really cool to see.
Absolutely. We were saying her name every week last year, and it's great to still be able to celebrate the great season that she had last year, even now.
And speaking of names that we say a lot, Liz Mancini, Cross Country Performer of the Week. It's really, I haven't heard of the 6K event, I'm not going to lie. So the fact that she got a new career best in it, that's really cool as well. And they have A-10 championships coming up, so I'm sure that we're going to see a lot of great performances from them. And rowing, getting their season off to a really great start because they had an excellent season last year. So just the fact that a silver medal performance, it's obviously kind of disappointing that they slipped behind, but you know, any podium finish is going to be a great way to start the season.
Yeah, and the head of the Charles Regatta is one of the biggest races in the world, is what I was reading. So their performance was incredible. So great to see that they have second place over Notre Dame. That's a great finish for them, and I think gives them a lot of confidence going into the rest of the season.
Absolutely, and that's it for the top 3. Now let's see how our teams did in this week's recaps. Men's rowing kicked off their season at the Navy Day Regatta early last week. The Varsity 8 boat led the Explorers, finishing in 4th place above Temple and St. Joe's. The men's freshman boat finished in 3rd in their respective race. The Explorers topped off the afternoon with 2 more 4 boats finishing 4th and 7th in the collegiate rowing category. On Sunday, the Explorers were back on the water at the head of Charles Regatta. The men's Varsity 4 held their own at one of the largest regattas in the world, earning silver just behind Notre Dame. The men's Varsity 8 was looking good, holding steady in 2nd at the first time check. Unfortunately, they crashed oars with another boat and it cost them valuable time, leading them to place 14th.
Women's soccer was busy over fall break, kicking off a 4-game run against Richmond. Both sides had chances to score, most notably Kelly McGroarty attempting a bicycle kick, but the score remained 0-0 at halftime. Haley Gaucher had a good shot go off the goal post in the 67th minute, but the Spiders would score first in the 78th minute. 1 minute later, they would get another, and LaSalle would fall 2-0. And then it was time to face off against St. Joe's, where the first half saw a lot of back and forth between the Philly rivals. The Hawks had a scoring chance in the first half, but goalie Michaela Agrodo was able to keep it out of the net. Just before halftime, Jillian Drum hit the crossbar where Rickshay Walker tapped in to put the Explorers ahead 1-0. The LaSalle defense handled the Hawks well for the rest of the game, leading to a 1-0 victory, which marked the 300th win in program history.
Fresh out their St. Joe's win, the women took on George Mason, where the teams would combine for just 3 shots in the first half. The offenses got going after halftime, however, and Rickshia Walker crossed the ball into the box, where Haley Gaucher headed it home for a 1-0 Explorers lead. The Patriots had 10 shots in the second half and would eventually score a goal of their own, ending the game in a 1-1 tie. Their final game of the season came against Davidson, where the blue and gold offense put early pressure on the Wildcats, recording 3 shots in the first 10 minutes of play. Despite this, Davidson would get on the board first, going into halftime up 1-0. LaSalle would outshoot Davidson 6-0 in the second half, including a link-up between Shea Collins and Courtney Butleon that almost resulted in a goal, but the Wildcats would hold on for the win.
Men's soccer took on Columbia this week, where things got off to a slow start, as the first half saw both sides see shots but no goals. However, early in the second half, Amari Cotterell earned a penalty kick, which he scored to put LaSalle up 1-0. Cotterell would get his second goal of the night in the 64th minute after dribbling through 3 defenders and driving the ball home from the top of the box. A corner kick in the 78th minute set Louis Pachol up to score the 3rd goal of the night, and the Explorers would finish the game 3-0.
Field hockey also had a pretty packed slate this past week, starting off with a matchup against Davidson. The first quarter was a quiet one, but the second quarter saw the Explorers go up 1-0 after Melina Balduzzi assisted a Tatum Johnson goal. Just 2 minutes later, Zal Rodrigo and Peyton Tolikson combined to give LaSalle a 2-0 lead. Later in the game, Johnson collected a pass from Laura McCann at the top of the circle before sending it to Rodrigo for a 3-0 lead, which would end up being the final score. It was then up to Staten Island to take on Wagner, where the Explorers would take the lead first once again. An offensive corner from Tatum Johnson saw Tatum Johnson collect the ball before Peyton Tolikson slotted it home for a 1-0 lead. In the second half, another penalty corner turned into a goal, going off the stick of Sol Espana. However, Wagner would roar back in the last gasps of the game, coming from behind to hand LaSalle a 3-2 loss. Finally, it was back home against St. Louis, where a defensive battle led to a scoreless draw going into halftime. The Explorers finally got on the board with just 12 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter, thanks to a goal from Peyton Tolikson. On the defensive side, the Billikens offense was pushing hard, but LaSalle goalkeeper Ryan Curley was able to deny every one of their shots. With just 3 minutes left in the game, Paige Doyle got the insurance goal, closing out the match with a 2-0 win.
Men's golf headed to New York this week to compete in the Nassau Invitational. Senior Carson Rush led the team through their 36-hole round on Monday with scores of 72 and 74. On the par 70 Nassau Country Club, Kevin Lyden and Alex Geekish shot 4 over on their first 18, and the Explorers rounded out scoring on their first 18, taking a 7 over from Christian Fortis. Nikita Romanov bounced back Monday afternoon to count a 72 in round 2, followed by Fortis and Lyden shooting 74 and 79 respectively. On the final day of competition, Romanov led the team again with a score of 71. The Explorers took a pair of 8 overs from Rush and Lyden, followed by a 79 from Fortis to round out round 3. LaSalle finished 8th place overall and will look to end their season on a high note at the City 6 Invitational on Saturday.
On Friday, the men's and women's swimming and diving team traveled to Drexel for their season opener. Unfortunately, neither Explorers team would get a win, with the men's team losing 169-131 and the women's team losing 152-146. Ann Moser was the first Explorer to be victorious in the meet, finishing first in the 1,000-yard freestyle with a time of 10 minutes and 35.81 seconds. Gabby Herbreder also gained a win for LaSalle, winning the 100-yard breaststroke with a finishing time of 1 minute and 5.67 seconds. Vilda Strom and Felicia Rogel got the last 2 wins of the day for the team by finishing first in the 500-yard freestyle and the 200-yard IM. For the men's swimming team, Zach Miller earned a victory for the Explorers, winning the men's 100-meter freestyle with a time of 46.85 seconds. Teammate George Williamson added 2 more wins for the men's team, finishing first in both the 1,000-yard freestyle and 500-yard freestyle. Zach Wilbert rounded out the day for the Explorers by being a top finisher in the 200-meter with a time of 1 minute and 52.48 seconds. For the women's diving team, Phoebe Shia earned first place in the 1-meter dive with a score of 265.65. Shia would also finish with the top spot in the women's 3-meter dive. For the men, Sam Henninger won the 1-meter dive with a score of 300.38 and finished with the top spot in the men's 3-meter dive. Both teams will travel to Seton Hall on Saturday for their second match of the season.
Women's golf rounded out their fall season early this week at the Lehigh Invitational. Monday's round was led by team captain Hannah Bosler, coming in the clubhouse with 79. Behind her was Kaylee Zeman with a score of 81 and a pair of 86s from Paige Ciaramino and Sydney Levery. The women finished day one with 6 combined birdies. 2 scores of 84 by Bosler and Zeman led the team on Tuesday. The Explorers took an 85 from freshman Mina Okanova and 86 from Levery to tie her day one score. These Tuesday scores completed competition and led the Explorers to finish in 14th.
On Friday, the men's and women's cross-country team competed in the Penn State National. The men's team finished first in the 14-team field, finishing with an average time of 25 minutes and 25 seconds. Ibrahim Kadir was the first Explorer to finish, ending up second overall with a time of 24 minutes and 58.6 seconds. Tayanga Mbambo finished the race 4th overall with a time of 25 minutes and 8.5 seconds. McCallum Rowe finished just shy of the top 10, ending up 12th with a time of 25 minutes and 28.9 seconds. Finn Burney and James Pitak rounded out the Explorers, finishing 15th and 17th respectively. The women's team ended the day 8th overall. Liz L. and Christine Mancini were the first 3 finishers for LaSalle, ending the race in 4th, 14th, and 17th overall. Maeve Gimbert and Julia Flood were the other 2 runners to earn points for the Explorers. Both the men's and women's teams will be competing on Saturday in Virginia for the Atlantic 10 Championship. Told you we had a lot of recaps this week, but definitely a lot of games to talk about. So I want to start up first with men's soccer. Surprise, surprise, because I thought it was really great that they got the win against Columbia, because right now they're fighting for a spot in the A10 playoffs. I think it's the first 10 or 11 teams make the playoffs, so right now they're hoping to get a win against Duquesne, which Duquesne has been amazing this year, so I don't know if that's necessarily going to happen, but it's just a lot of looking at other teams to lose to make it in, but you know, Libby likes to be the optimistic one in this sense, so I just think getting a 3-0 win over Columbia is really a good thing, because they have not been on a winning streak lately, so I was really excited to see that happen for them.
Yeah, and you know, going into the end of the season, I'm hoping that win, 3-0 to shut out Columbia, is incredible for them, and it gives those seniors and those kids graduating maybe that extra push to want to get into the postseason, to play some more games before they graduate. So hopefully that's, the push that they need, and they do have a chance, and that's really exciting, because at the beginning of the season, we didn't think they were going to make it. So yeah, I have some confidence in them.
And women's soccer also is looking pretty good. They had kind of a mixed bag in the games that they played, but to be fair, they played 4 games in the course of a little over a week, obviously traveling for some of those games. And I think it's interesting that we're seeing the same names over and over again. We have Kelly McGroarty, Rikshaya Walker, Shay Collins. So just to see so many of the same names, and the fact that a lot of those are underclassmen, is really promising as well, because they're a team that has loads of talent. They've had the same head coach for about 20 years now, so even though I don't think that they're going to make playoffs this year, it's still a really good showing and really promising performances by everyone in the team.
Yeah, I mean, definitely not a break for them over fall break. It's a lot of travel, it's a lot of stress on that team, but like you were saying, having those underclassmen kind of step up gives me a lot of confidence in them for next year, and hopefully they can take the off season to really reset and rest and make the adjustments that they need to make for next year and make the postseason.
And we have swimming and diving to talk about, who opened their season against Drexel. Disappointing that neither the men's or women's team got the win in that meet, but Phoebe Shia and Sam Henninger are the standouts for the diving because surprisingly, we're really good at diving. LaSalle is good at the most random sports, but it's really amazing to see that they keep winning and keep earning top spots. It's really great that we did get some good finishes, even though overall we didn't get the win. So definitely kind of disappointing against a City 6 rival, but it's good to see that the individual performances for swimming and diving are looking to be pretty positive.
Yeah, I mean, there's something there. There's something good with the loss. First meet of the season, you're going to have a little bit of rust going into that, so hopefully they learn some things and can come back stronger. I know it is a strong team, and like you said, diving's always been good. So, hopefully those individual wins are going to get some confidence into the rest of the team.
And we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, Joe James is back with another Explorer Report where he'll be getting us ready for the impending basketball season. Stay tuned.
I just missed the shuttle.
You never hit record!
I never hit record. I just got an F on my exam.
Is that you? Do you sit around bored all day? Do you want to watch television shows where you can look at the people and be like, I can be that. That's me. Well, you should check out LaSalle TV. That rhymes. We got entertainment news at Backstage Pass. We got regular news at LTV News. We got sports news at Sports Talk and SportsLine. And for those of you who really want some fun stuff, Q&A. Because down at LaSalle TV, we got a full buffet.
Thanks, LaSalle TV.
Thanks, LaSalle TV.
Thanks, LaSalle TV. I still miss my shuttle.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back. Basketball season is right around the corner, and to help us prepare, Joe James presents this week's Explorer Report. Take a look.
In this week's Explorer Report, men's basketball will be starting up again in a little less than 2 weeks, with their first game being on November 7th against Villanova. The Explorers will be traveling to Villanova's home turf, hopefully to secure the win. The Explorers have only won 5 games against Villanova since 1990. On November 12th, during homecoming weekend, the Explorers will be taking on Wagner College, who has a 0-2 losing streak against LaSalle. Make sure to pop out and support our amazing basketball team.
So basketball season is coming up, and it feels very sudden. I was not prepared for basketball to be up, so not going to say I have very high hopes for the season, especially with games against teams like Villanova, but again, I guess we'll just have to see how things play out for them.
Villanova is a tough matchup, it is, but I'm again going to stay positive. I think they do have especially the women's team, but the men too, have a lot of talent coming in this year. There was a lot of transfer students come in for the men's team, and I'm really excited to see how all of those pieces fit together for them. And I think we'll get some more wins this year. I really do, Siobhan.
Yeah, maybe with the coaching change and the fact that a lot of players that we thought were going to leave ended up not leaving, and they do have more talent, and the women's team always delivers pretty consistently. So I definitely don't want to be too hopeful, but I do think it's going to be better, a lot better than last season, because it would really take a lot for it to be worse, so hopefully that's not the case. But we're going to take one last break, and when we come back, we have all the games you can look forward to this upcoming week. Don't go anywhere.
Yo, bro, what's good?
What's going on?
How you feeling, man?
Doing good. How you doing?
When'd you start smoking?
Smoking? It's a jewel, bro.
It's a jewel?
Yeah.
Listen, you might as well be smoking cigarettes. When you start juuling or vaping, you're 4 times more likely to start smoking cigarettes.
Is that true?
That's very true. Give me this one. You don't need it.
To learn more about e-cigarettes, go to thetruth.com.
Using meth taught me everything about freedom, only not like you think. It taught me how easy it is to lose your freedom, how meth can take control until you find yourself doing whatever meth tells you to do. Before you get there, while you still can, take a stand for yourself. If you feel yourself losing your freedom to meth, ask for help. Accept the help. It's worth it. You have the power to be truly free and be the person you want to be. I know. I'm Jan, and I'm free from meth.
If you or someone you know is struggling with meth, call 1-800-662-HELP for 24-hour free and confidential treatment referral. Learn more at samhsa.gov/meth.
Welcome back. Fall sports are coming to an end, so try and catch the last games of these teams' seasons. Field hockey is away for their last couple of games, taking on St. Joe's on Friday, October 28th, and Fairfield on Sunday, October 30th. Rowing will be out on the Schuylkill on Saturday, October 29th for the head of the Schuylkill race. Then, swimming and diving will head to New Jersey to compete against Seton Hall, also on October 29th.
Men's soccer wraps up their season at McCarthy Stadium, taking on A10 rival Duquesne on Saturday, October 29th. Finally, also the 29th, cross country will head to Richmond, Virginia for the Atlantic 10 Championships.
So since we didn't get a chance to talk about it in recaps, Livy, how are we feeling about golf?
Yeah, so the women's season is over. I think there was a lot of strain. It was a tough back-to-back traveling season for them, but you know, they did okay in the last event, but I'm really excited about the men. They have the City 6 Invitational coming up on Saturday, and this is their favorite event of the year. It's all local rivals, and there's just so much energy, not really tension, but you know, it's that fun, like competitive energy. And last year, Matt Warner, who graduated, won the entire event for LaSalle, and that was his first individual win of the year. So we're looking for another LaSalle individual to take it this year.
Yeah, so that's definitely going to be an exciting thing. Anything against a Big 5, City 6, whatever you want to call it, is going to be a really great event. I am very excited to see cross country at the A10 Championships. They always do really well. We always have really good top performers, and hopefully we can get some runners into a more national stage. I don't know exactly when that would be, probably sometime in November, but just cross country and track and field in general just always give us such great performances. So to see them in the A10 championships, showing what they can do, showing how strong they are, even though they kind of do that meet after meet, I'm really excited to see them take on that challenge.
Yeah, we've been talking about them all year, and it's just new personal record after personal record, and they just continue to run well. And when they get on the big stage, they always perform, and I'm going to keep saying it, we're a cross-country school. I mean, they're incredible, and it's been so fun to follow them this year. So this is the wrap-up to the season, and I'm hoping for them, for especially the seniors, that they can perform the way that they were hoping.
And men's soccer against Duquesne is going to be an interesting matchup because this is kind of their do-or-die moment, and it's senior night. They have a lot of guys that are going to be leaving after this season, not just seniors, but people that transfer and everything. And obviously, if they don't finish too well and they don't make it to the playoffs, coaching might be up in the air as well. So a lot of big changes are going to be coming to men's soccer, and it all kind of rests on this Duquesne game. Duquesne are second in the conference right now. They've been having an excellent season, so it's definitely going to be a big do-or-die moment, and it should make for a very interesting game.
Yeah, this is a high-pressure game for them, and they've made a run at the end of the season, and I'm hoping that, we don't want to see all those guys transfer, and we want good energy going into next year and the seniors to end on a good note. So hopefully, with it being senior night and, the atmosphere at McCarthy Stadium just being the way it is right now, the students are out, loving it. So hoping that they have enough energy and confidence to get the win.
And I know field hockey is going to be kind of feeling it because they're away for their last 2 games this season, which I don't know if it's necessarily sad to say, but, for people who, for the seniors and everything and people who are leaving, that's got to be kind of hard to not play out your final season at home, but hopefully they'll do well, especially since they have a game against St. Joe's. And that just about wraps it up for us this week. If you can't make it out to see the Explorer Report, be sure to tune in next week for our coverage. Keep up with this weekend's other sporting events by visiting goexplorers.com. You can also check out the digital edition of The Collegian, which now features SportsLine content.
Also check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/LaSalleTV and on Instagram at SportsLineLTV. We welcome you to send your thoughts and suggestions there. This week's poll is candy corn. Do you love it or hate it?
Personally, I really like candy corn. I know it's just pure sugar, but I like it. What about you, Libby?
I'm indifferent.
Fair enough. But for our entire SportsLine team, I'm Siobhan Nolan.
And I'm Libby Gilliland. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you at the game.